Hello everybody, welcome to our week 5 of this MOOC. I hope you enjoyed all the previous modules which our trainers prepared for you. I am Diana Yakazarian. I am a youth worker from Armenia. I manage International Youth Studies project run by Confederation of Youth Clubs of Armenia. I am also a Young European Ambassador from EU Neighbours East project. We are almost to our final weeks of this MOOC, and this module will basically be about the project, about the final assignment that you participants need to complete and send to us. So we will give you a scenario, a situation, in which circumstances you need to propose an idea. So this will be working like a test project. And the main aim of this written assignment, is to make you more engaged on what we have talked in the previous weeks. And we are always happy to give you support in terms of different discussions and question and answers. So if you have a question after this explanatory module, you can post your questions in the comments, and we will answer to them. And also we will have another module in next week to also talk about this assignment, if you have still questions and need support. And the final project is named Youth Work as a Preventive Practice. And the scenario is the following. Imagine that you are a youth worker working in a regional youth service, let's say Saddle Youth Service in South Saddle, which is a rural area in Central Europe. The local community is concerned by the growing number of young people who are joining groups with links to a radical movement, with evidence of some young people traveling even to join groups in conflict zones. And as a result, your local municipality has opened an opportunity, a tender for community youth work projects, which can act as a preventive action for radicalization among young people. And they are offering €1,000 grant for projects which can be a youth work response to violent extremism and radicalization. So let's say youth work against these tendencies. And South Saddle is in a Council of Europe and EU member state, and also South Saddle Youth Service is a member of a European Youth Work Network. So when developing your ideas, also you can take into account this fact that we give to you. And what you are supposed to do is to answer to the questions which we divide into part A and part B. So in part A, you need to draft an outline of 250 words of a project for which you can apply for the municipality's tender of €1,000, as I mentioned. And this project will need to be a youth work response to violent extremism and radicalization. In your short answer, because this is not it is a test project, but we would like you to include in your response these points. So first, you need to outline which youth work response your project will use. Think about different methods, different things, because they can be really different, starting from seminars, educational opportunities, up to campaigns, awarding raising, advocacy, or some other events and activities. Also, you need to discuss the positive role of youth work in preventing violent extremism and radicalization, and discuss what support networks you can use at a national and international level in the future for funding and capacity building. So think about this as well. And in part B, you need to also speak about what youth work events or projects are already happening in your community in the next months, and how can you use this to give the concept of youth work as a preventive measure. A national reach, for example, workshop at a national event, etc. Again, you need to summarize your response in 250 words. But in this part, we want you to localize what you are going to do. Let's say to include something and relate to your national holiday or events that you already had in your community, and people are already knowing about this. And you can, for example, combine or add some components to these events, because, for example, having 1,000 euro is not that enough to organize everything from the beginning. So in this part, you can relate these two and and describe to us. I hope that this is clear what you are supposed to do in your assignment. You need to send it to us, to ecyktrainers@gmail.com by the 1st of July. So that is the deadline of sending your assignments completed. And I also would like to talk about one publication which name is Operational Guidelines on the Preparation and Implementation of EU-financed actions specific to countering terrorism and violent extremism in third countries. Of course, this has a specific target countries. But anyway, this is a good publication in terms of it provides you concepts and definitions about what is combating, preventing violent extremism, and it also gives you the EU and international principles and strategic approach. What are the main relevant policies, financial instruments from EU, and key EU principles. But also it gives you practical guidelines on the overview of the projects you are developing, programming, identification, formulation, implementation, and evaluation, including different things. It also has very good appendixes which can use. For example, I would like to tell you that when you're developing your idea in preventing or combating violent extremism, or even in our case talking about youth work response to this violent radicalization, anyway, you need to think about key questions For example, is the proposed activity or project strategically relevant in relation to the needs of assessment? And then also you need to think about the relevance. Is the given project relevant? Is it match the problem identified? Also, are the activity you are planning to do is closely matched the reality of the local situation? And also in the third part, you need to think about the actions. For example, list the factors that cause radicalization in your society, the weaknesses or which capacity gaps do you have in your local level. So, and these youth work responses need to correspond to all these factors that you already identified and want to match. I will put this the material that I talked about in the module part, so you can download it whenever you want and read it, and it will help you, I hope, doing your final assignment. And also I would like to speak about one more thing for today's module. This is the declaration of participants. You know that at the end of this MOOC we will give you diplomas of attendance. But before that, you need to first of all make sure that you completed 80% of the course, and all the answers to the quizzes and final projects are written by you and represent your own work. And you need to sign first of all this declaration of participants and course owner code, and then scan it and send to ECYC at fcgmp.be by the 31st of July. And without doing this, we cannot give you diplomas. So this is really very, very important thing to do. Here you need to fill in your name, organization, country, age, gender, email, assign, and as I said, scan and send to us. Please don't forget to do this. And I also will put this document in the section of in the section of materials of the module, which also you can download and do what is the instruction. Please post your questions in the comments. We will look at them and answer, of course, and give you support. Yeah, and this is enough, and this is all I wanted to talk for today's module. Please be engaged, be on time, do everything before the deadlines, and we will meet you soon and see you then. Bye.